let's just be clear, okay? Ethan hasn't sued anybody, and you cannot sue a subreddit.
Ethan, you need to respond to the subreddit, please. Disprove the subreddit.
Shut the fuck up. Ethan Klein and the Israeli military have one thing in common, okay? Discretion. We're gonna go over that huge Paige Christie video, okay? Nobody else has the strength to do it. I do, okay? I have the autism. Don't worry. It looks long. I swear to God, I've gone over this. Most of it is clips. I'm going to assume you've got the context going in, okay? I'm going to give kind of like brief, you know, summarizations here and there, but okay. So we're going to 2x through this video. Don't worry.
Was looking retrospectively at what took place all those years ago and basically seeing the current controversy that Ethan Klein has found. Yeah.
So initially, in the first bit, okay, all she really goes over is like, he had this falling out with Hassan, a snark subreddit is this, blah, 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 blah. This is why the snark subreddit was invented. Who honestly cares about that shit? I fucking don't, okay? Oh, but we're gonna go over. To defend our Jewish brothers. Okay? Because is already too big for a $2 TCS, what the fuck? Yeah, well, it just feels silly. It just feels silly. You got 25 subs when I first subbed? Yeah, dude, unironically, I'm going to take a moment to, like, not really self-suck, alright? But, like, looking at my own, like, analytics, it's fucking insane. Yeah. Over, like, a week. How many subscribers is, what's his face at? Self-Skibbity? I don't know if this can actually fuck me up, okay? So I'm just going to screenshot this. Because I'm scared that it's gonna... Okay. Yeah. But, basically, yeah, around like the third, I was at nothing. Or like 5. And now, what are we up to? 252. He has 315. I am self-sucking. But I feel I'm genuinely like... I'm really, really happy at like the response that I've got, right? Yeah, it feels really, really good. Feels really, really good. I'm grateful for the support. It's been good. Content's been good too, but there you go.
Okay, so as we know, the H3H3 podcast took a short hiatus around Christmas time. I imagine spend time with your family, all of that good stuff. And during this hiatus, a content creator called Aubrey Smalls, who describes himself as a historian as well as a filmmaker, with a TikTok following of over 180,000.
She's just explained the context. I'm assuming that you know it all. Okay, basically, small man, well, sorry, little person who was, you know, brought onto the H3H3 podcast, and then months later, suddenly, you know, he's got a change of heart, and he says that the podcast was like a bad idea, or he feels like he was treated badly, right? Who's this anybody? This woman is, she used to be called Petty Paige, okay? You might know who that is, right? Used to beef with the Oreo. I think she called Oggy racist and got into a huge spat over that, okay? So, she's not unknown to the commentary sphere. Paige Christie, yeah.
Violation of this guy all the time that he said publicly on the internet that he's afraid of little people. Just a lot of derogatory jokes.
So he goes over,
and they were like,
and he's talking vaguely, alright, about the kind of podcast that he got on. But already, yeah, everybody knows who the fuck he's talking about, right? He went on the H3 podcast. Everybody knows that. And now that Ethan's getting hate, he decides to lump in as well.
Enough with these weak-ass call-outs, trying to cash out on H3H. This shit's not paying out anymore. Fuck this dude. We have insane amounts of receipts to disprove everything. I see you trying to erase shit too. Don't worry, I have it all saved. Why the fuck would you make this video? Jake Doolittle levels of self-owning. Enjoy the new year, dipshit. Man, this...
Oh shit, there's more.
This dude is gonna look so effing dumb when we're back. So obvious with this comment. He's scraping for any clout he can get from this new wave of H3 hate. And they always start talking shit the minute I'm on break too. Just a little coincidence. So in response to this, I'd like...
Is he wrong? Huh? Is there one point that he's wrong on there? I don't think so. Right? Somebody responds to him in a public setting. He's going to respond back, but she might have a disagreement.
Knowing that he was going to be featured on a segment of the H3H3 show, Aubrey decided to take to TikTok to basically explain why it is that he felt the way that he felt, as well as basically saying that the pod...
I think, was this months later? Or this might have been a year later, maybe 2 years later, right?
Cast was pre-recorded, that there was lots of information and context that were left out. He encourages the H3 team to show the entire recording, as well as making it known that there was frequent usage of slurs towards little people.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about this once and then we're moving on. I posted a video today about a podcast appearance.
Yes, we already know this. This is all boring. Okay, like I say, most of this video, it looks like a lot because it's like 2 hours. It's not actually that much. It's a huge
No,
clip
it was quite clear to
compilation.
everybody that Aubrey was speaking retrospectively, and I have to keep saying this because it seems as if nobody on the H3H3 cast can understand what it means to look backwards at something retrospectively and change their mind on positions and behaviors that took place. It's almost as if Audrey...
But you're making a call out based on a retrospective analysis. At the time, you felt it was fine. And now you look back and it was a horrible thing and you were being taken the mick out of. But the reason why he's looking in retrospect isn't because of material facts about his circumstance that's changed, right? He's changing his mind because of like the hate that H3's getting, and he's jumping onto that. That's why he's changing his mind in retrospect, right? But
isn't allowed to change his mind about the way it is he feels about that past episode in 2022. Like, if we're keeping a bucket of bean, girl, I used to be a big old hoe back in the day. There are people retrospectively I wish I never slept with. For instance, there are a lot of...
yes. And yet... yeah. I'm sure everyone understands why that's completely different and completely retarded.
bigoted comments and slurs that Ethan Klein has...
You wouldn't say that the person is immoral for having slept with you, though, right? Just to spell it out. That's the difference.
said. In the same light, there are lots of things that I'm sure that Ethan Klein retrospectively does not agree with. For instance, he retrospectively apologized to QT Cinderella for the way it is that he portrayed her on the podcast. He's made it quite clear that he doesn't agree with the behavior it is that he displayed, and he disagrees with the jovial nature of how he did that segment. So please explain to me why Ethan Klein has the ability to retrospectively look back and disagree with past actions, but Audrey Smalls can't look back on his appearance at the podcast and not agree with the circumstances of how it took.
This is completely stupid. You're disagreeing with something that you did, and you're saying this is not in line with my morals anymore, right? Versus looking back and saying that person did wrong to me because they're now getting hate. This is the only variable that's changed, right? Ethan got a lot of response to that. Ethan got a lot of criticism for that. I think it was fucking hilarious. But anyway, he can change his view about what he did. That's his right. Changing your own view about what somebody else's did is just categorically different.
Place. It's giving very much rule for me and not for thee, and it's just a H3 hypocrisy. We are very used to this by now.
Now Ethan is claiming that he has proof that I was okay with the appearance, and people are upset because I've deleted the posts today on Reddit and Instagram celebrating the appearance, and that's honestly just because those posts don't accurately represent how I feel, and I feel...
But they did until yesterday, apparently.
But they're being used to invalidate my experiences and to ignore the fact that there was...
No. Those were your valid, descriptions of your experiences. Stop it in chat. I did not sleep with Paige Christie, okay?
A lot of ableist rhetoric going on, that the segment was harmful, regardless if people think it was a joke or not, and that those posts are not proof of anything, but those moments right after the podcast where I was trying to stay positive and pivot in a more positive direction. For those calling me a clout chaser or saying that I'm hopping on a hate train because the host is currently under some controversy, that is just so far from the truth. I've been speaking about this for years now, and never once...
No. Okay, I'd love it if he can provide it, but he can't. Even to the point where Paige is saying, yeah, he changed his mind in retrospect. That's how little evidence he's got for this.
Which would be something you would do if you were looking for clout. This is about advocating for fairness and respect, not about hating or canceling people. I understand that fans of the podcast may feel defensive or upset, but I urge you to see it from my perspective as someone who is subjected to hurtful language about
this
literally
guy
my body and the way it
fucking
looks.
rambles on so long.
There's not going to be any good done by fighting fire with fire. I love you guys. Keep going.
And honestly, Aubrey...
Literally, I say, clip compilation. He's literally just saying he's upset there, right?
I literally couldn't have said it better myself. There are numerous different things that have taken place in my own life that I look back on and think to myself, I wish I had no part in that.
I would love to, get in a conversation, or at least, have a conversation about the video. I think this is an awfully researched video. Fucking awful. The internal logic doesn't make sense.
However, when Ethan Klein responded to this finally on a podcast on their comeback show, Ethan Klein's receipts of how it was all okay and he was definitely on board with everything was showing extremely heavily edited clips of the podcast show itself that Aubrey was on, as well as numerous different direct messages, emails, and correspondence between the H3 show producers and Aubrey prior to him coming onto the show. Again, the show where Aubrey shows up and it is the guests, Jimmy Lee and Ethan Klein's father, who are surprised by Aubrey's attendance.
And I thought...
Yeah.
This was going to be an educational little moment, but I was coming on to be a bit. They essentially had, leading up to my appearance, a whole compilation.
That's an outright malicious lie. That's provable. I don't know why he's doing this. It's disgusting, especially considering his whole point.
How is she going to respond to this?
And I feel like it was actually a wholesome, good moment. And I mean, in terms of teaching people about a prejudice against little people, that was, and to imply that that wasn't the intention and that it was to bring him on and humiliate him or something, it's just a malicious outright lie that I will prove to you. But I'm going to continue watching his video and then I'll show you everything we've got.
of this guy, all the times that he said publicly on the internet that he's afraid of little people, just a lot of derogatory jokes about little people. And then they were like, and drum roll, we have a little person to surprise you. And they brought me in, but basically no warning.
Okay, basically, this clip, I'll summarize it. I don't know why she needed to include all of this. This is like a 10-minute clip, okay? Ethan basically goes on and shows like Reddit posts, messages, communications from the time. It basically shows that, you know, Aubrey was fine with it. He was happy with how it went, right? He got onto big podcast. He was able to basically shill, right? It is just clips. 50% of this is clips. And then the rest of it is weird rambles, okay? I'm going to warn you now. This video has no main thesis other than Ethan bad, okay? It tries to form a main thesis around Aubrey and then this Mika girl. Completely fails. Goes off on weird tangents. She starts talking about Israel-Palestine at the start. Says she's not going to get into the politics. She's not going to be partisan. But then calls it a genocide. And what else does she do? Oh, she says, what is it? Free Palestine till the wheels fall off or something. Just like... I mean, say what you want about the politics, okay? I'm not going to talk about that. But if you're going to say that you're not going to talk about the politics, then don't talk about the politics, right? It's very, very clear that she just really hates H3. I didn't show it, but you can check the video, all right? You can see the URL there. I'll link it later, all right? She says in the first 30 seconds, right? I've hated H3 for ages, or I've hated H3 for a long time. I'm actually going to go and double check. I think it's in the first 30 seconds.
Dear Ethan Klein, you can't litigate public opinion. Ethan Klein, a content creator who I have had a huge disdain for since the beginning of time, has recently been called...
There we go. Okay, so this is the perspective she's coming into the video with. And she doesn't even try to give an ounce of charity. And it makes the reasoning very, very weak. Because she doesn't even bother.
I am. He said after the show. Dan said, appreciate you, Aubrey. So does our audience. They were so thrilled with your call. That was great. And we're all thankful for the insight you provided. Best wishes and good luck on your project. That sounds like a horrible fucking experience you had.
Yeah, awful, huh? We abused.
Completely blind.
Since the beginning of time, because he's apparently so. She's been an enemy of the tribe for a while.
Sided. We made and what a joke we made out of him.
Me and my team are actually able to find the original clip, and even one of the producers of the H3H3 podcast show stated
Ethan includes it in that show, by the way. She didn't do any research.
That they really had to heavily edit and splice it so that the content itself was even usable, kind of lending some validity to Aubrey's version of events, that it is a heavily edited piece of production.
I hate fucking midgets, man. I don't want anybody sniffing around my fly unless they're serious.
Yeah, I need to confront you on something, okay?
I know which one it was.
Which one?
I don't like midgets, Ethan.
Oh,
I can't
stop
hide
it.
my shield. Don't get mad. I just never liked them.
The word midgets is very offensive, okay? We don't use that word anymore.
I thought it was a pretty good joke. Jolly Roger liked it. Pretty funny. It's just an old style joke. That's really what it was.
What'd you think of that, Gary?
All right, so we planned the intervention for the whole midget thing.
Right, it's lighthearted, right? It's a comedy podcast. But from everything that was described, this is all planned to be like intentional and a genuine learning experience. This has already been hatched. If she carried on going,
my dad, you know, to kind of
she'd have shown that in the quotes earlier.
Ride for the social issue. He thought that was a highlight reel. He's clapping. So just brace yourself, guys. Go easy on my dad, please.
Some classic offensive humor. I think it's very clever and very smart, because if you're going to go after...
It's just a clip compilation, yeah, kind of. Okay, let's go over. She's literally just showing it, but, I mean, the characterization, oh my god, it's the entire fucking segment. Yeah, like I say, I went over this earlier. I forgot just how egregious this was.
Of his way to show full context of the conversations and the original recording, which should have been able to squash any questions that people had about how this conversation really went down. So he gives us heavily edited video footage and correspondence between Aubrey and production where he is A-okay with everything. Not
heavily edited. I don't know why she's calling that heavily edited. This is the thing she'll do a lot. She'll characterize something or give a description, but never explain how she knows it, right? That does not look heavily edited to me. That's just changing the camera that's being shown at the time. It's a live podcast.
Deterred by this whole situation, Aubrey then went forward to ask if he could go onto the podcast to speak about what he wanted to speak about, which was his production that he was doing. I think it was some kind of
Wait, go on a separate appearance?
comedy show with disabled individuals, and he had like a website called Dear Normal Hype People or something of that nature. So I guess even from that alone, that kind of gives me the...
We wanted free fucking clout. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's not content for Ethan. That's just an advertisement.
feeling that Aubrey didn't feel like he got all that he needed to get out of that
Shame. He shouldn't have agreed to go on the first time then, if that's not all he wanted to get. But again, this gives more motivation that he's malicious. He's unhinged.
podcast segment. The H3 team allowed him to come on a second time. He was able to plug his show, and I guess he went on feeling a little bit more
So he did come on then? Oh my god.
confident about the situation between himself and the H3 podcast. However, retrospectively, in 2024, 2025, Aubrey feels like he made the wrong decision, which, for goodness sake, he is entitled to. A decent human being would just turn around and go, oh shit, I really didn't realize I made you feel that way. I felt like I went above and beyond
No.
to try.
This is the thing. This is the thing about changing your mind in retrospective, right? Which she just seems to just dismiss out of hand. He didn't he wasn't made to feel any type of way. At the time, he felt quite good about it. This is the point. He was completely fine with it at the time.
I make you feel comfortable, but I didn't. I fell short. How can I make this better? But no, not Ethan Klein. He's going to talk about it on his podcast, attack a member of a marginalized group who has struggles of which Ethan will never ever be able to.
Having looked up cuts between cameras, leaves room for cutting things out. That is true, but that's what I mean. It's like a live podcast. I could understand if you said, this could be edited, right? This could be edited. There could be things left out. But that's not what she's saying. She's saying that it is heavily edited. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know what was and what wasn't included. For all she knows, this is just continuous.
To fathom and then police them on how they should feel about their own presence. But don't forget, guys, Ethan is a good guy. But the interesting thing is that Ethan Klein has literally a patented history of referring to little people by terms that are either outdated or completely inappropriate. Like, this has been a running bit for Ethan on his show for quite some time. Like 1 year ago when he called Big Nick a troll, a demonic little troll and troll-like.
He's such a fucking hateful
Troll out.
And I don't say troll because of his stature. I wouldn't joke about that. That's just not a fair thing to laugh about. I'd say that like in the sense of like a troll.
He clarifies it in the exact clip.
The small jokes were so much that Dan had to jump in and try and save his ass by saying, well, some trolls are big.
I mean, if you Google troll and you go to a drawing of a classic
like the
troll.
troll.
So I mean, here you go.
Okay, this is
You know what I
obviously
mean?
a
Just
comedy.
a demonic.
This is the thing is, it makes the video worse, right? It makes the video worse by the fact that she's going too far in it, right? Which, to be fair, yeah, Nicandra, she definitely phrases it poorly, but saying there's potential for things to be separative out would be sound. I agree. That's not the point she's making there, right? And the fact that she would want that kind of, I guess, charity. She completely loses it with points like these. She's given no charity. She's offering no nuance.
That's right. They were big.
She's not doing genuine like analysis or trying to form like a cohesive. She's just trying to tell like stories where Ethan might look bad.
Big motherfucker that broke in Hogwarts. He was a troll.
There it is.
Big motherfucker that broke into Hogwarts.
And just to clarify, I'm not talking about these trolls, which are very small in stature and quite strange looking.
Right.
These are not the trolls I'm talking about when I call him a troll.
Right.
Then Ethan went on to call Big Nick another slur for a little person, consisted of the letters I, M, and P. Little trickster demon, short-stacked imp goblin vibes, and little demon.
All right, well, that was Nick. Sorry, Taylor. Didn't mean to
You can
clap
call
for
him a
that.
little demon. Come on, man.
Have we done the imp thing with Big Nick already, or is that uncharted ground?
I reckon, yeah, he's talked about imps before, but maybe something new.
Thing is, he did win, okay? He did win. I can understand if you think that this is, like, offensive, right? I can understand that, right? But at the same time, this is clearly in a jovial way. You might say it's inappropriate to joke about, right? You might say it's inappropriate. Fair play. But my question would be, is this before or after the statement with Aubrey? So far as I'm aware, this is before.
No, but just that, like, I would call him, he's like imp-like.
Fat Ethan, this is before, okay? That's how we know. It's the size of the second
But
chin.
not because of his size, because of his, like, because he's like a little trickster demon.
Dickers puts on the glasses to tell the fat and slurs. Yeah. We're getting serious now, okay?
But an imp
Let's talk about the things that matter.
demon.
I just know Dan's in the bathroom and I'm nervous.
Me too.
Here's what an imp looks like. They're like a little winged demon, and that's what he's like.
Those are cooler than him, though. Come on. Demons are cool, dude.
Yeah,
This is just a relevant context. It should raid this guy. Where am I? Are we making fun of Boblax? Fuck. Good point. I need to change the fucking title. I already made fun of Bo Black's, went over the Mr. Girl thing, alright? I need to change my fucking title. I completely forgot. Nice. Thank you for catching me on that one. Okay, thank you.
It's just, hold on, I'm gonna look into this. What is a munch? Oh, there's a shopping thing called Munchies, so I can do that. Baby products and accessories.
Yeah, I buy a lot of their stuff. It's just
Oh,
a
I think,
brand.
I'm no expert, but I'm
It's
a
just
counselor.
a compilation of, like, edgy
Another
jokes.
instance in April of 2022, where Ethan is speaking about two of the main people of Selling Sunset, which is a show about like real estate in LA and all that. Anyway, the two guys who run the estate agent business are shorter men, to which Ethan Klein regards them as two little munchkins.
The two owners of the broker.
Okay, this is the thing. She's grasping at straws so hard. We're talking about him being ableist, speaking about certain ways about dwarves, and now we're just going to like men of short stature.
Of Selling Sunset, which is a show about like real estate in LA and all that. Anyway, the two guys who run the estate agent business are shorter.
How tall are these guys? It's like 5'2", maybe? That woman's wearing huge heels. Is this really ableism?
Men, to which Ethan Klein regards them as two little munchkins.
The two owners of the brokerage are these little munchkins, and they're so creepy. They only hire like young, beautiful women, and then
Fat
they date
Ethan.
them, and they're the two
This is an old
little
clip,
munchkin.
and she doesn't lay out the timeline clearly at all, okay? She provides, I would say, too much context, okay? We don't need this much material, but she never gives the dates for these.
Popsicle kids, and they're just so disgusting and creepy. And so like I like that it was centered on that, but the new season is just fucking awful. I can't watch it.
Now, since this whole situation took place and Aubrey has given his thoughts and feelings on attending the H3 podcast and how he retrospectively feels about it, Aubrey has been brigaded across all of his social media. He has received 2 strikes on his TikTok channel, putting his TikTok monetization and channel at risk. Not saying that that is 100% attributed to H3H3, but the timing is very interesting.
This account is sadly at risk of
No, you can't do that. You can't do that, okay? That's super fucking dishonest. I'm not saying that it's H3's fault. It's very coincidental, though. No, just say it. Just make the argument. Everybody knows what you're saying, but then you don't want to get criticised for the point. This is so stupid. It's the most dishonest, laziest way of arguing. I don't care about this little man, okay? I don't know why I'm seeing his face again.
this account, though. I've had so much fun on Dwarfism history, but hopefully we'll see you guys soon on some of those other platforms.
And a person on the H3 podcast subreddit literally like soft doxed Aubrey. And considering Aubrey's whole
Nick posted about this, okay? This was done. 3 posts were made at the same exact, like, minute. This is very clearly some kind of brigade.
whole reason for going onto the podcast was to shed light on a situation that was extremely important to him. How little
If somebody can get the Nick tweet for me, put it in the Discord. Thank you.
people have been disregarded in society, and how there is like a group of people who harass little people on YouTube, only for Ethan in 2025 to come through and do it again. Now, granted, that post on the H3 subreddit was taken down by moderators. However, Ethan Klein can't use the ploy that, oh, my audience don't attack people, because yes, they do. It is a patented history. We have seen this.
I don't know if he would even say that. Would he even say that? You haven't got a clip of that, clearly.
For years and years on end. It's actually one of the biggest reasons that I fucking dislike you. Because you literally never, ever go out of your way to just tell your audience, hey, don't do it, stop. If anything...
Well, I guess she's making a negative claim, but I'd be surprised if Ethan has never said that. I'm fairly sure he used to say that in, like, the H3H3 production days, right?
I think you've just exasperated...
What the fuck is soft docs? I think basically, like, there was some image of him, like, outside, I guess, his apartment or something like that. To be fair, I'd say, like, yeah, that's kind of docs information. And it was put out there kind of with docs, right? But, yeah. In my perception, it's the Hassan subset of the H3 audience, the Brigaders. Yeah, probably.
Rated the situation. So with Aubrey's feelings of how things went on the show, the limited and highly edited receipts it is that Ethan Klein has produced to the audience.
Limited and highly edited. Can you address the receipts, though? Can you address what Ethan said? Or just say, there's only a little. Yeah, he hasn't given you a fucking, like, a book of receipts. Can you at least address the receipts? She's not going to.
And the patented history of Ethan Klein using some really nasty slurs about little...
Patented? I don't know if she knows words.
people. So much so that it's turned into a running gag and a bit on the show.
Oh man, on Ethan's bit here.
Can we? Oh, sorry.
I don't think it's
Okay.
weird for Aubrey
There she puts it. I'm guessing that was already edited in.
to have felt that he was used in that particular situation, retrospectively. But Audrey was not. Have I been saying Audrey or Aubrey this whole time? If I've been saying Audrey, I'm really sorry, I meant Aubrey.
She can't even re-record it. This is how fucking lazy this fucking... Jesus Christ. Little Owl, okay. This, you know, woman made a video about H3H3. It's dog shit. Okay? It's dog shit. I'm assuming that you know the clips in you know, beforehand. I'm going to summarize some of them if they're, like, super necessarily important, but, yeah.
Aubrey. However, Aubrey isn't the only person to have caught that Ethan Klein smoke on his comeback tour. Introducing a person that I deeply respect, Mika's rhetoric.
Here's the thing as well, right? So, because I won't deny Aubrey probably does have some harassment, right? It's probably fair enough to just assume he does, right? But you're just assuming that Ethan is to blame for that, never explaining why. This video is so fucking lazy. It doesn't argue these points at all. It doesn't go into Ethan's response or rationale in any depth at all. It just calls his receipts limited. Well, talk about it, but so fucking limited, right? Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. But he completely destroys the point, so. It's like, it's so fucking annoying as well, because you criticize him when he responds, right? Because it's going to cause harassment. But at least address the response.
Okay, so the Mika's rhetoric situation is slightly different because Mika's rhetoric didn't actually release anything whilst Ethan Klein was on hiatus. She made her video sometime before the break. However, Nicholas DiOrio came across it and popularized the content. In a video titled, Ethan Klein gets exposed by crazy woman she fears for her life. In this video, Nicholas...
Now that Chud raided, are you willing to undick him? Listen, dude, once you're dicked, you can't be undicked, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is.
DiOrio basically watches Mika's rhetoric's video and fundamentally dislikes the content, not just the subject matter and material, but just the overall production of how Mika does her videos.
Going over a Ethan Klein exposed video that has about 70,000 views from a smaller T-channel.
Again, you can start to see the prior beefs that are going to be brought up here, okay?
Content creator. Now, if this person knows who I am, I don't remember who they are. I guess we've had some interaction in the past. It's something that's come up. You probably saw it in the intro clip. The reason why we're looking at this today is because it's a brutal video. Typical T-channel fashion, it's mostly just a conversation that doesn't have supplemental clips. It gives the person an opportunity to lie, and they do that a lot in this video. The choices in argumentation are horrendous.
Wait, who the fuck? Let's just say, okay, we're just coming into this, like, completely blind, right? Completely blind. Who the fuck is this guy? This is supposed to be a video about Ethan Klein. Who is this? How's this guy relevant? Spoiler, he's actually not, right?
To just come out here and make these broad claims that you're...
A little bit annoying to people who like structure. As you can tell, I'm a girl who likes structure. Mika's videos are more like podcasts. They are intended to be listened to and raw and honest.
I'll say, right? No, actually, I won't even give it that. This video isn't structured at all, right? It talks about different topics. It has no cohesive thesis. No cohesive thesis at all. It goes off in random tangents. It doesn't formalize itself. It doesn't even say what the thesis is. What is this video about? This video is about Ethan Bad.
It's almost as if you're speaking to your ADHD friend who can't stay on topic but will always get to the point eventually. Now, that style of content may not be for everybody, but I just kind of don't like the idea that people are like, it's bad content. No, it's just not.
It's certainly cut into chapters. Barely.
Content that you jive with. Now, one of the biggest issues is that Nicholas DiOrio pointed out in Mika's Rhetoric's video is that she has a lot of disclaimers before she starts a video. Now, I can 100% understand why that might be annoying to some. However, this time she was speaking about having an uncomfortable feeling about making this video, even though she wanted to make the video because of the harassment it is that she faced at the hands of H3 fans when she made a video about Ethan Klein a long time ago. I have pretty intense anxiety.
Doesn't matter if you put disclaimers, all right? Make the video or don't make the video. Those aren't disclaimers. Those are just like fluff pieces, right? What does that add to the video? Nothing. It's literally just sympathy bait. You mean to tell me this 2-hour yap session is a constant stream of incoherent prattle? Kind of. Almost, right? It does have substance to it, okay? But the substance is already done by the Snark subreddit. So, Who are you? I was watching Chud and I left. I guess people know me as a Chud chatter. Been streaming for a week. Been doing fun. Currently, I'm reviewing this. Hope that helps.
Anxiety disorder. And the only time I've contemplated quitting the internet with, like, certainty was...
Again, clips. Huge amounts of clips. It just fucking...
including...
So shortly before Ethan Klein's return, during this hiatus, he took to Instagram once again to talk about another content creator who made a critical video about him. Wow, wow, people don't agree with me, wow, wow. He's literally...
He can respond. Again, this is the problem as well. She wants to be taken seriously, but at the same time, she's making these clearly quite like... It clearly shows a bias, right? You're responding to Ethan's response. Are you crying about his response to people?
literally a 40-year-old baby. This is what it is that Ethan Klein had to say. Another...
I'm a 40-year-old baby. She does not want to be taken seriously, surely.
The dummy taking a ticket and getting in line. Lots to talk about when we return. Lol. Now, as you can imagine, the moment that Ethan Klein said that he was going to be speaking about a particular content creator, posted the content creator's channel, a lot of H3 fans, even before Ethan Klein had live streamed, literally zeroed in on the Ethan Klein video and went over there to attack Mika's rhetoric. And
wait, how do you know that these are H3 fans? I mean, they probably are, right? But at this point, Ethan hasn't even responded. So why did they attack her? Could it be the video was pretty dog shit?
A lot of the attacks on Mika's rhetoric was against her physical appearance, to which I personally believe, this is Paige Christie speaking over here, I personally believe that the H3 team were aware of. There were literally people...
I personally believe you're fucking retarded. Why do you even believe that? Can you... I mean, obviously if you don't want to state it as like a definitive claim, that's fine. But at least kind of explain your rationale.
On the H3 subreddit, putting her face on the body of Ursula, and when a fan turned around and said, hey, it's not cool to make fun of people's appearances, other members of the H3 fandom were like, shut up, cry more. Now those screenshots it is that I just...
Okay. Where do we get to the studio? Where do we get to the crew?
Showed you were screenshots that I personally took on my phone whilst the podcast was live. And whilst the podcast was live, the H3 production team were posting various different memes that were entered into the subreddit. The H3 production team specifically, Dan, however, there are several team members who have direct moderation access to the H3 subreddit. So their lack of prompt to remove disparaging content about Mika's rhetoric's looks, whilst in tandem showing live the memes it is that they approve of, honestly just sparks negligence to me.
Oh, Goku Naru, Jake Doolittle, and Aubrey.
Yeah.
All in your room? I feel like I'm dogs with Goku now. Me and Goku are dogs.
Even some hours after the podcast, these pictures were still available on the H3 subreddit, which again...
Okay.
Ethan, Dan, AB, at the very minimum, all have access to and moderation.
So?
Roles.
Where is your evidence
Mika's
that
video
they
was
are
definitely
aware
politically geared and very much spoke about the...
Also, are they really going to moderate it that hard? That, like, those kind of jokes aren't allowed? Yeah. Wait, Nick Andros raises a good point that I didn't even fucking look at. Are these upvoted or? Have a look. 15 upvotes. Also, these were available hours later. You screenshotted it 44 minutes later. On, let's just fucking check, okay? How big is the H3H3 subreddit? They get millions of fucking views, right? Okay, here's the official subreddit. 600,000 fucking users. Come on, dude. Is that their fucking job? Are they there to like... Oh fuck, I'll dogpile on as well actually while we're here. Sorry, I meant to open this earlier. This is the best, I think. The one thing I would criticize the H3H3 subreddit for is they're going for like... They're getting 0 upvotes, 46 minutes. This is evergreen, okay?
So I personally took on my phone whilst the podcast was live. And whilst the podcast was live, the H3 production team were posting various different memes that were entered into the subreddit. The H3 production team specifically, Dan, however, there are several team members...
Again, they're probably sorting by hot or sorting by top.
who have direct moderation access to the H3 subreddit. So their lack of prompt to remove disparaging content about Mika's rhetoric's looks, whilst in tandem showing live the memes it is that they approve of, honestly just sparks negligence to me.
Sparks negligence. It's a subreddit. Nobody's getting fucking killed here, right? You're talking about the moderation of a fucking subreddit.
Naru.
This isn't docs information, right? This is mocking somebody's fucking looks.
Oh no.
Jake Doolittle and Aubrey,
yeah,
all in your room. I feel like I'm dogs with Goke now. Me and Goke are dogs.
Even some hours after the
Sparks negligence isn't a word either. Yeah, also, she doesn't actually explain why it's negligent, right? She's not going into how many posts there are. She's not going into...
podcast, these pictures were still available on the H3 subreddit, which again, Ethan, Dan, AB, at the very minimum, all have
Could you show any proof of that?
access to and moderation roles. Now again, Mika's video was definitely politically geared and very much spoke about the H3 cast members almost as if they are archetypes of their minority groups, which was not something that I personally am down with. And there is more than valid criticism and debate for Ethan Klein to have there. However, for the most part, he just spoke about her looks, then walked back those comments.
Wait, for the most part, he spoke about her looks and then walked. Wasn't this a fucking 2-hour VOD? You've shown clips for everything else. You're not showing clips for this?
Called her dumb, stupid, and that he hated her content. While subject...
Romeo, chill. Gonna have to delete that, right? Not even fucking, like... I know you're joking, but calls for harassment in the fucking chat are not on, okay? I know you're joking, but... Right, but calls for... I'm gonna have to give you a quick timeout for that. Fuck. Where are you? I'm coming for you. Shit. I can't fucking find it. Okay. I think somebody else has already got it. Okay?
To his fans almost 40 minutes of her 47-minute video.
Like this dummy, Mika, who I had never heard about. I don't know who she is. She's a small commentary creator. Yeah. So her video, by the way, is called ironically, a nuanced conversation on H3 and public perception. Oh, sounds like a really thoughtful, analytical video.
I'm gonna watch that. That sounds interesting.
And if people think that I'm weak in that regard as well, I understand, honestly.
Okay. To be fair, I asked for a clip, so I'm just gonna let this.
I also have like
the thing is like she's heading super fucking hard because even though she opened this video saying she's terrified to make this video because of you, the reality is what she's actually afraid of is her fellow snarkers because they are the first ones that are gonna turn on her and bite her fucking head off for not going hard enough or focusing on the right things.
That's a good point, Nicandros. I'll save that for the end.
Yeah, and she might not even realize that is what you're doing. None of these disclaimers were in any way a prevention of our fans or your fans coming after her. She is deathly afraid of all the other idiots that she hangs out with.
Those people are fucking drunk.
You're right. You're right.
My mental health is very silly, but again, I just want to be honest, right? I have a pretty intense anxiety disorder.
Here we go with more fucking hedging. She's so scared. She has anxiety. Then get off the internet. If you have anxiety, just go off the internet.
Yes, this is not helping.
You didn't need to make this video.
You should not
True. Is he supposed to look bad?
Shut up. It's not my problem. I don't care, okay? Just say what you want. Holy fuck.
She has like 50 reasons to not make this video and still fucking makes it crazy.
Yeah, it's like a full terms of service.
That's actually what was on the paper.
Reasons why not
to video. Pros, cons. The pros probably are pretty
pros, views.
Yeah, views and subs.
If you talk about big crazy, you are just going to get backlash. Right? You are just going to get backlash. She knows it. She's aware of it. And she made the video anyway. I don't know what she's complaining about.
Point phobic. Get to it.
True. Like that.
The only time I've contemplated quitting the internet...
Also, the thing is, yeah, they're just afraid of, like, online comments of people being mean. Don't use Facecam, though. I'm fine with people making negative, like, remarks and jokes about my appearance, right? It's fine. And that's why I go on Facecam. And that's why I'm fine to, right? If I wasn't, if I was really sensitive about that stuff, I wouldn't. I mean, put them in the chat right now. Donate on TTS. See if I care. By the way, Cook Shell, like, okay? Well, you have to subscribe to chat, but like, donate. $5 TTS, alright? How many people are here? How many people are here? Fuck. Oh, how many people are here? Hello? Is anyone there? Optimization. Could be. Fuck it. I know people are fucking here, alright? How many likes? Probably not enough, alright?
With like certainty was in reference to discussing Ethan Klein before.
I have no idea who you are. Apparently her talking about me made her want to quit the internet. I've never heard of you. I don't know anything about you. I've never talked about you. If it made you want to quit the internet, maybe your intuition was right.
And I was treated in a way that maybe allegedly in Minecraft would be considered harassment.
By who?
Maybe
Now you got
allegedly
fans
in
probably. By
Minecraft.
fucking
This is just a dog shit video, okay? I don't know why she's trying to... Yeah.
People that hate
Apparently
me.
all he does for the
They
majority
were
of
making
this
an
is
account with their dedication,
criticize
like
her
saying all this
looks
stuff
and
about me
then
and how
take
evil I
it
am,
back.
and then they were DMing people that I'd worked with on other videos that I was a horrible, evil, morally corrupt individual, and all this stuff.
I think she's lying. I'll say it. I think she's straight up lying about that. I don't fucking believe the thing she says. Not that it matters because I didn't do any
Has
of
he
that.
made comments about her looks once here? Tell me if I'm wrong, like at me. I don't think he has.
Exist, lady.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, give me another 1,000 reasons why you're so scared to make this video. Jesus.
Now, in this comeback podcast, Ethan Klein stated that anybody who says anything about him, they're going to catch all the smoke. That he's not letting things lie or rest anymore. He's attacking it head on. And that any content creator, no matter how big or how small, was going to get it.
All these motherfuckers who want to come and talk shit. Listen, if you're going to talk shit about me, I have a policy. This goes for everybody. I don't give a fuck how small of a creator you are. If you talk shit, you're fair game.
So that kind of led me to the question of, why are we focusing on Aubrey Smalls and Mika's rhetoric and their very inconsequential videos that I honestly don't believe has actually harmed the perception of Ethan Klein and his H3
What? Okay, you might say these specific people, right? But you're talking about a broad policy, okay? You can look at this example and that example. Do they? Wait, fix my cam. Fuck. Yeah. Here we are. As soon as I... That's it. Okay, it did finally get to me, okay? The mockery. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned it off. I've turned it off. Fuck. I'm gonna have to fucking readjust this shit now. Rising Star, huh? Yeah, exactly. Fucking update. I've had this every single stream at the exact same fucking time. Always fucking goes off. Bullshit. Okay. There we are. We'll fucking reframe. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. Broad policy. This is a broad policy he's adopting, right? Of, if you talk shit, I will respond. And you can say, these specific people, what negative reaction did they get? I'm fairly sure Aubrey got... It's TikTok, so I'd probably get millions. A shit ton of fucking, like, responses at the very least, right? A shit ton of responses. And then Mika, didn't her video get... She got over 100,000 fucking views. She's a relatively big fucking YouTuber, okay?
podcast show.
It's not just one particular person. This is a weird thing, but yeah. Obviously, I don't fucking know, because I'm a tiny shitter. I know, okay? But a huge creator, right? They don't get, like... It's not just one, like, individuals coming after them. It's a fucking swarm, right? So as soon as you start, like, actually replying to people, maybe the swarm kind of, like, you know, melts away a little bit.
All due to these people's limited amount of impact. Because again, had Nicholas Diorio not found this video and decided to speak about it on his platform, it would never have amplified Mika's Rhetoric's video. Mika's Rhetoric's subsequent growth in subscribers.
How do you know that? This was fucking... She was a big fucking channel. She got a lot of fucking views. The video popped off. It was shared everywhere. If Nicholas didn't share it, it never would have... That's just... Again, she doesn't give any reason for that.
Subscribers as well as monetarily, and views was purely based on the amplification of Nicholas Diorio and Ethan Klein. I mean, even Evangelina Scarf, another content creator.
Okay, perhaps Ethan Klein, right? I could believe that. What was the response? What was the video view count before Ethan's response? Before Nick's response? Love Nick. He's not a huge creator, especially not on the size of Ethan Klein.
Creator who has made Ethan Klein content has been vocal more recently about Ethan Klein content not really doing well for her channel at all.
Nobody watches my videos about Ethan. I think I made like 2, maybe. They're some of my worst performing videos, to be perfectly honest.
El Bozo. People are making bank off these. If you're not making like big fucking money off making videos about H3 right now, right? After the Hassan fallout, after all the Israel-Palestine stuff, womp. It's your fucking bad.
To be honest with you. And why am I here?
What's the point here? This one person didn't make fucking bank off videos she made about H3. So...
Okay. Again. He annoys me.
I feel like I'm one of the few people who can make an Ethan Klein video and it'll get hit. But that's because I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. I have been on this train of disliking Ethan Klein since day dot. I disliked Ethan Klein when my ancestors were building the pyramids, bitch. I have been disliking Ethan Klein since the plantation. I have been
She doesn't look Egyptian. Is she Egyptian? It's probably just one of those
Ethan
things.
ever since the stupid little beanie hat. I've been consistent. I'm a consistent queen. But back to the topic of the video.
You're
Why did
retarded.
Ethan Klein focus on 2 extremely irrelevant and inconsequential individuals instead of focusing on a much bigger story that I genuinely believe that Mika and Aubrey were used to suppress? So let's talk about the H3
Okay, I wonder if we'll get that. Don't. No, I don't. When I say one of those things, I think it's something I've heard people say in, like, the African diaspora, or African people in, like, you know, Western nations say, right? I've heard them say that before. That's what I mean by one of those things, right?
Snark Reddit lawsuits, and why Ethan Klein...
Sammy, you will get banned here as well, okay? You'll get banned not only from mine, I'll make sure Aiden bans you again.
I will not answer Adam McIntyre. So approximately a month ago, Adam McIntyre made a video called Ethan Klein Needs to...
Was that the intro beat to Mr. Girl's song?
And Aubrey were used to suppress. So let's talk about the H3 Snark Reddit lawsuit and why Ethan Klein will not answer Adam McIntyre. So...
1 second. Okay, this one. I can
Hey
fantasize
guys,
whatever I want.
today we're going to learn how to fit in. We're going to learn how to take any bad thoughts or feelings or even any thoughts or feelings. We're going to develop a sort of camouflage so that we might hide from our friends, our family, and most importantly, ourselves. You're playing Minecraft.
Okay, to be fair, it's probably just a ding with a fucking tick sound effect, but never mind.
So approximately a month ago, Adam McIntyre made a video called Ethan Klein Needs to Address This, in which Adam McIntyre discusses the H3 Snark Reddit being hit with numerous different...
I'm gonna warn you for the Mr. Girl pop-up. True. Well, to be fair, this is the second Mr. Girl pop-up this stream.
Copyright claims. Now, just to bring you up to speed, if you skip past some bits, the H3 Snark Reddit is basically a place where people who dislike the podcast, people who dislike Ethan Klein, can talk shit about him freely. Because as we know, the H3 podcast subreddit is moderated by the team. So disparaging and negative critiques about the H3 podcast, as well as its show hosts, tends to be wiped away. And I mean, that's their subreddit.
It seems like people in chat fucking hate Adam McIntyre, right? I don't know who the fuck he is, so...
Can do with it as they
I'm coming in
However,
unbiased.
it's unsurprising that there has now become a space where people who do want to criticize, whether that's positively criticize or simply to just hate on these...
What does it mean to positively criticize? What you basically mean is if it's genuine criticism or if it's slander, okay? I think that's more quite what she means.
People, they made a new place to go. So last month, Adam McIntyre basically did a call-out video to Ethan Klein and stated, the H3 Snark subreddit is alleging that you are placing false copyright claims on the subreddit in order to get the subreddit terminated. It's quite clear...
If you want to come in for like 2 seconds and fill us in on the law, yeah, I'll pull you in. Up in the waiting room.
That the content that you have selected for copyright falls within fair use. So Ethan Klein and the H3 podcast, why are you abusing the copyright system?
You cannot hide behind trying to silence a fucking snark page, specifically when you guys were fucking sourcing out the fucking Trishy Land of last year. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Just because the views are down, the memberships are down, whatever the fuck is going on, it doesn't mean you can silence criticism because that is not fair.
How is it going, Dimitri?
Grand. Okay, so the quick rundown of Adam McIntyre is that he was the person who like mainly accused Colleen Ballinger of all that stuff. Like he was the person that she sent like the lingerie to and stuff, which is like, yeah. It's like, oh, whatever. I don't care about that part. But his beef with Ethan Klein, it goes on for like so many years. Like I can't remember where exactly it started, but recently. So he used to be like a big Ethan Klein fan, and he went to one of their shows and he met up with Ethan Klein's mum, and they started like texting behind the scenes and whatever. And then Ethan Klein found out about this, and like they got into like a drama or whatever. And then Ethan Klein gets on his podcast and he's like, "Oh yeah, Adam McIntyre was like texting my mum and stuff and thirsting over her." And then Adam McIntyre was like, no, I'm not." And then they called up Ethan Klein's mum, and then she was like, "No, it's not weird." And then after that, Adam McIntyre's been on like a hate crusade on like Ethan Klein. But like overall, Adam McIntyre is so fucking annoying. Just in general.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Sounds like a weird fucking guy then. So basically he's just afraid that, what? Ethan cucked him. Okay.
Specifically, if you're going to do it this very weird way when it comes to fair use and copyright, which you got a successful peak on YouTube for, because you fought against. Because you fought against it.
This video gained around 100,000 views and went into detail about the copyright infringements that were placed against the H3 Snark subreddit. Now, for a period of time, the H3 Snark Reddit went dark. Once lawyers and legal...
What, you're just going to let him make the point for you? You're not going to actually make the point yourself?
Notices and letters and all of that kind of stuff were making its way through. The moderation team had a little bit of a regroup to see...
Also, Ethan sues Snark. Let's just be clear, okay? Ethan hasn't sued anybody, and you cannot sue a subreddit. He's issued DMcA notices for specific clips posted on Reddit servers to Reddit. Hasn't sued anybody.
If they could continue even running the Snark Reddit. Adam McIntyre basically said in his video if Ethan Klein could prove that the allegations that the H3 Snark Reddit were levying against Ethan Klein, that he was unfairly copyright claiming videos on the subreddit, that Ethan Klein could prove that this was untrue, then Adam McIntyre would go forth and make a retraction online for the allegations that were levied against him. Adam McIntyre in his video was basically begging Ethan Klein to prove that this is not going on. Begging
Prove that it isn't going on. So when H3 goes to it, he has to prove that this isn't true. But then when we talk about H3, he goes after, what, these small people as a smokescreen. Or when... Okay, so when it would harm Ethan, we have to ask for, like, huge amounts of evidence. But when it would harm Ethan, we can just assume things with no evidence? This is clearly just a
Ethan Klein to prove him wrong.
Video.
Go on, I know you want to prove the Reddit wrong. Prove them wrong. Prove your Snark wrong. Disprove it. Disprove
the subreddit. Ethan, you need to respond to the subreddit, please. Disprove the subreddit.
Shut the fuck up. Fucking stupid. Like a fucking child, dude.
Prove that you're copyright striking criticism of content clips against you, and you're the very... Disprove it. Come on, we are rooting for you. Come on, chat. We are rooting for them. Just do it. And if you will, we will all be on here and we'll be like, yes, it wasn't them. You know
why does it say Brout on the wall? Because he's gay.
You know why? Because on a video yesterday, I spoke about how much I respected Ethan when it came to fighting for fair use and fighting for copyright protection. Go on, disprove it. Disprove it so I can double down on, while I may have issues with Ethan.
Okay, this is the thing, right? Just because, right, somebody defends free use, which Ethan has, does not mean they will agree with you on every principle of copyright. Okay? For example, no, I know this is fucking true. Okay, I've seen this. Check for yourself. Or if somebody's got the link, send it to me on Discord, alright? Fairly sure a lot of these were just titled, thank you, Nick's DMs. Okay. I'm fairly sure a lot of these that were taken down was literally called, watch this, so you don't give Ethan the view. Right? Which is explicitly the standard for copyright infringement. Will this detract from the original work? Instead of going watching Ethan's video, maybe watching an ad, right? And then go into the timestamp. You're just mirroring it, right? The intent is copyright infringement. So he doesn't get like that 0.1 like cents from AdSense. Just because he defends free use of using particular bits of clips from a video in like a reaction or a skit or a transformative video does not mean that Ethan has to, completely respect like every instance of copyright, or just like, I don't even know some of the criticism is here. This is completely different to what he went and defended. This is just such the laziest fucking criticism to essentially throw back in Ethan's face. Like, stuff he's done for the community.
I respect him for fighting for fair use. I respect him for fighting for YouTube copyright.
How does it feel to be a lyrics waiting room? I'm fine with it, mate. So long as you like and donate, alright?
You know why? Because it directly affects me. with the content I make. And regardless of my opinions, I fucking respect him for fighting that battle back then. But if this is true...
This is so fucking stupid. This is just fucking deranged slander. It's like, oh, I used to really like them. I promise. Oh, fuck off, dude.
Then it all crumbles. Disprove it.
Now, despite at the time Adam McIntyre's video having over 100,000 views on the topic, that is extremely condemning to the reputation of H3, which we'll discuss in a moment.
Wait, so now, okay. Okay, so before, Audrey's posts and Mika's posts had no effect, right? But then this video gets, what, 100,000 views, and what, that's extremely detrimental. I've never fucking heard of this guy. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Ethan Klein came back and did not give any airtime to the allegations that I really do think can have a much bigger harm.
What's the allegation? That's not an allegation. You're just ascribing an intent to him.
To the reputation of H3H3 and focused on the little person and Mika's rhetoric's rambling video. And again, Mika's video was extremely inconsequential because it did not have the views until people put a spotlight on it. Now, I originally wasn't going to speak on the situation because I genuinely...
Do you have any proof? You don't. You
really felt that Adam McIntyre did a fantastic job of laying out the story for everybody. And if I don't have anything to add to a conversation, I'm just not going to talk. However, a couple of days ago, there was some new development.
You're talking for 2 hours here.
On it. Now, I originally wasn't going to speak on the situation because I genuinely felt that Adam McIntyre did a fantastic job of laying out the story for everybody. And if I don't have anything to add to a conversation, I'm just not going to talk. However, a couple of days ago, there was some new developments on the Snark subreddit. The moderators of the H3 Snark subreddit came through with receipts, as well as legal notices and documentation, showing that H3 Productions, under the TED Inc. umbrella, had used the same lawyer that aided Ethan Klein and Gila Klein in their monumental copyright and fair use lawsuit. They attempted to use that...
Womp womp. That's crazy. So the lawyer who before was fighting on the side of protecting free use is now aiding them to say that, no, this is copyright infringement. Interesting. Bearing in mind, this is Reddit's bread and butter, okay? I think I've seen other people make this point, so maybe it's retarded, okay? This is Reddit's bread and butter. Having these tiny clips hosted on their servers that can then be like posted to like subreddits and stuff, right? If Reddit thought that this was a dishonest takedown, right? I would have assumed it'd be massively within their interests to fight it. No? Otherwise, what are they signaling, that anybody can just like DMCA request any kind of clip? Like half of the video content on Reddit will be taken down. No? Stupid.
Lawyer to sue the H3 Snark Reddit, to which I believe that the moderator...
No, you retard. That's not true. Issued a DMCA notice to Reddit. That's not suing anybody.
No, friendly-ish way.
Who's going to court? How the fuck do you take a subreddit to court?
I guess, Nicholas Diorio. Now, whilst in a live stream, Nicholas Diorio, as he stupidly does quite frequently, ended up showing his inbox on Twitter, to which people had noticed that AB, one of the members of the H3H3 podcast, was in Nicholas Diorio's DMs. Other members of the H3 Snark Reddit had also noticed that my name was there too. And that started the whole, we don't like Paige, she supports yada yada yada. Now, I've had a parasocial love-hate Diorio's DMs. Other members of the H3 Snark Reddit had also noticed that my name was there too. And that started the whole, we don't like Paige, she supports yada yada yada. Now, I've had was there too. And that started the whole, we don't like Paige, she supports yada yada yada. Now, I've had a parasocial...
Why would you include that? Why not? Oh, this just feels so fucking childish.
Love-hate relationship with Nicholas Diorio for quite some time. I respect him as a content creator. I think he's fucking fantastic at what he does, even if I don't agree with him. However, as a person, I find him insufferable, as he does with me. He doesn't like me either. However, I would say that there was a morsel amount of mutual...
Why is this relevant? Why this is supposed to be... Who is this about? This is the bit that you felt you had to contribute.
Respect. I say in my...
Now, I'll admit, okay, I've seen the Nick tweet. I know exactly what's about to come up, and I know how awful it is, okay?
Corner, you say in yours, and we're good. However, when I found out...
And this justifies a 2-hour video.
Update of the H3H3 Snark Reddit, as well as the lawsuits and legal documents and all of that kind of stuff, I reached out to Nicholas Diorio to...
She forced herself into Nick's DMs? Yeah. She fucking DM molested him.
Let him know about it. As you can see on the screen, this is exactly what I said to Nicholas Diorio. Now, I did this because whilst Nicholas Diorio...
Wait, is she not even reading them?
As you can see on the screen, this is...
Hey Diorio, just leaving you a tip. Ethan Klein has been abusing the copyright system, despite his history of fighting for fair use. If he's striking down posts that are, here, watch this mirror and don't give Ethan views, then that's based in best practice. No, he's not. I'd say that would be fair, but also, that's not what he's doing. We're talking clips that are 20 seconds or 1 minute, not exactly intended to rip off a 3+ hour podcast.
This is exactly what I said.
You can have certain moments, and if they are intended to take away the view, yeah.
To Nicholas Diorio.
It doesn't target what he said at all.
Nicholas Diorio will suck the...
I'm guessing she knows it doesn't. Right, that's why she couldn't intend with the initial thing.
Literal skin of Ethan Klein's phallic object. I do believe that Nicholas Diorio is a man of his word, and he understands that fair is fair. And he is more than willing to call out friends, which I've seen numerous times over his career on YouTube, for the good of what is right. I literally saw this boy disown his very good friend, John Swan, over lies it is that he told that reflected bad on the commentary community.
He also denounced Bo Blacks over having BPD. No, not quite.
Nicholas Diorio went out of his way to make a stance and say, this is fucked up and I don't stand by it. Now, I did also think to myself that maybe Nicholas frequently. Diorio had to say in a video,
the idea of being able to criticize a public figure exists.
Don't care. This is irrelevant.
Tuesday. So now that we've got the whole Nicholas Diorio situation clear, let's take a look at this lawsuit. So 4 days ago, the H3 Snark subreddit and the moderation team for that subreddit posted, confirmed Ethan Klein hired an attorney to issue copyright claims against the r/H3 Snark. On the 17th of December 2024, the r/H3 Snark mods were sent evidence that an attorney acting on behalf of TED Entertainment Incorporated had been filing DMcA takedown notices against videos on the sub. An OP whose posts/clips were removed by Reddit's legal operations team submitted an intellectual property inquiry with Reddit legal support and sent us screenshots and a PDF of Reddit's response. Now, what's H3H3/Ethan said about clipping his videos in the past? On January 25th, 2023, Ethan announced on air that he was opening up the H3 IP to the world after being inspired by Hassan Piker and the Hassan Abid Industrial Complex.
Okay.
He was excited.
I'm assuming you've read this, all right? Loads of people have gone over this. It's available on Reddit. Basically, they just lay out the timeline. Okay? And then, yeah, oh my god. This is literally just reading out shit. Okay. Almost at the end. Almost at the end. Why is Gamma DM molesting me? He's not DM molesting me. What has he sent? He only sent me 3 DMs.
Almost 8 years ago, Ethan Klein ended up being in a landmark lawsuit against another content creator called Matt Hoss. On the H3 podcast, Ethan and Hila Klein reacted to some of this guy's content. However, Matt Hoss felt as if
everybody knows the fucking H3 situation. You see that image she has in frame on the top right? No. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
The situation with Mika's rhetoric and Aubrey Smalls honestly just feels like Ethan Klein was just trying to swipe at some low-hanging fruit. As I've said a few times already, these people were extremely inconsequential to his brand, and I don't...
What? How do you say that? How do you say that? Again, the first... Jesus Christ. So a 100k video from some fucking McIntyre cunt is incredibly consequential. It was hugely detrimental to his brand that he didn't reply to it. No reasoning given for that. But then these two people combined somehow aren't consequential. Never mind taking into effect that it's just a general policy of his. He's going to respond when people make videos. Which is probably good, right? No?
I think it would have changed anybody's opinions a great deal. That's just how I'm taking it. I think there's a lot of people, especially politically driven, that don't stand with Ethan Klein fundamentally, and I don't think that that's going to change. Nothing that Aubrey and Mika have said has changed anything in that regard. So I find it very strange now that the people at TED Incorporated are attempting to control the discussion and the narrative surrounding their name. And they're doing that in a way that literally directly contradicts everything it is that they stand for and everything it is that they built their brand on. Ethan Klein chose 2 small content creators to throw tomatoes at, and his audience quite quickly, as we have seen, followed suit. And I'm not one of those people who sit...
Whoa. Quite quickly followed suit. Earlier, you were saying that the pictures and harassment came before Ethan even made a response, right? Also, you're putting that on Ethan and not explaining why. Like, I'm fairly sure I've heard Ethan say before, he doesn't want people going after people or harassing people. But, okay.
sits there and thinks that a larger content creator cannot, you know, speak out against criticism publicly, especially if that criticism was delivered to them publicly. I feel like every person has a right to speak their shit, like chat your shit. But I think it's important as content creators to be mindful of the power it is that you possess and the behavior.
Whoa. So you're asking for... Okay. This is a huge fucking issue with the video. Huge fucking issue. Genuinely. Okay. So she's asking for Ethan to be responsible, okay, and to be nuanced. Despite the fact that she's saying he is maliciously coordinating harassment against these people. And maliciously targeting them to distract from bigger drama. If you thought he was genuinely a malicious person, would you be asking him to be more mindful of power dynamics? No. She doesn't believe anything she's saying. So stupid.
Behaviors of your audience. Like maybe the posts that are directly body shaming Mika's rhetoric should have been taken down immediately. Maybe we shouldn't create...
That's impossible. Especially on a subreddit that size.
Whole new subreddits for people to snark on people that Ethan Klein has an issue with. Maybe his audience... Maybe the posts that are directly body shaming Mika's rhetoric should have been taken down immediately. Maybe we shouldn't create whole new subreddits for people to snark on people that Ethan Klein has an issue with.
What? I don't even get what that point is. I need to read the transcript. Maybe we shouldn't create subreddits. Who is we? Maybe we shouldn't create whole new subreddits for people to snark on people that Ethan Klein has an issue with. I don't even know what she's trying to say there.
Maybe his audience shouldn't feel comfortable literally doxing people.
Maybe they shouldn't. Was that his audience? And what can he do to stop that? From what you've said, those posts were taken down incredibly quickly. Almost instantly.
Remember at the beginning when the Frenemies podcast fell apart and Trisha Paytas was in, I think it was like a WhatsApp group chat, desperately asking Ethan and Hila Klein to stop their audience from attacking her, and they did.
Again, you've not gone into this situation at all. You've not even expounded on what Ethan's response to this is, because this is years ago, right? Are you just going to bring it up? Okay.
In fact, they directly told her in the text messages that they aren't going to be doing anything about it. And we saw for a period.
Oh my god, it's just Trisha Paytas' fat fucking face. Oh, Jesus.
You know the fucking distress that I'm in, and you know what they're gonna do? They'll make a whole video about this with their ads and their sponsors. For what? What is this for?
Yeah, I can't be fucking arsed. Why would you post this video? Right, so now you're just going to show us like a huge long clip of a woman crying without going into any of the fucking larger context. Okay.
People contacting her fertility clinic and telling them not to allow Trisha.
How was this Ethan's fault? Ethan is just a huge personality online. Stuff like this is going to happen, and Trisha Paytas is hated by more than just Ethan's community. Okay? I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, yeah, because the H3 Snark subreddit was based off this. There was a huge split community over this. Trisha Paytas has a lot of hate anyway. She's a pretty notorious person.
Trisha Paytas to have children. Basically, people asking to deny a human right of healthcare. People attempting to contact ICE.
Yes. Citizens cannot deny you your rights. They can try and fuck with you, alright? They can't deny you your rights.
In order to deport Moses before they had got
Don't
married.
care.
People looking up all of the local schools where Malibu could potentially attend school in the local
No evidence, don't care.
area, which is a huge worry and concern to that little girl's safety. And no matter how many times,
No evidence, don't care.
numerous different people, but most importantly, my God.
Unless it's a fucking video clip that she can find on fucking Reddit. This woman's got no fucking... She got nothing, has she? Abram preach.
problem when you don't say anything. When Ethan Klein decided to help out ABBA and Preach with their copyright infringement situation with Jubilee, ABBA created a distinct moment in that very video to tell his audience to leave the staff at Jubilee alone and directly apologize to any of the Jubilee staff that were affected by them not speaking up sooner. And that is what being responsible with your platform is.
But folks who go around...
Okay, again, you're saying he's a malicious guy. He wants to target these people. He doesn't care. Okay, he's hateful, right? Why are we talking about him being responsible with his platform? It's not a requirement, no. I think it maybe you could argue it should be, right? I could take that. That one was crazy. They called schools in Trisha's neighborhood and warned them after she gave birth. She hasn't shown that. And that she hasn't shown either that it's got any connection to H3. Keemstar fucking hated her. Right? I don't know why she'd mention something like that if she didn't use a screenshot or something. Exactly. There is nothing to tie that back to H3.
Contacting these people personally, saying all kinds of foul stuff. Listen, critique them. If you want to dislike a video, that's fine. But don't say foul things. Don't contact advertisers. Don't do all that stuff because it's bad. And it doesn't matter what they end up doing to us. I just would not support that. And I mean, I've said this 100 times before and I'll say it again. Please don't. If you guys respect us, I want to be able to respect you. And I want you guys to engage in behavior that's respectable. Do not engage in the very kind of tactics that the people who would cancel us would engage in. Don't do that, okay? So be better than that. And I'm sorry for any of the Jubilee staff who've actually been hurt by this or have been harassed or whatever. I don't wish that on you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. No matter what happens to us, we copyright strike.
For me personally, I have never really cared about Ethan Klein's political opinion and stance. I have been spanking Ethan Klein
He's talked about the start of the video, but okay.
Probably since like 2017, 2018. Every chance I get, because of one thing and one thing only. The only consistent thing about Ethan Klein, his hypocrisy. Ethan Klein literally fought for our rights as commentators to be able to critique and give our opinion.
You're not even in the US.
Without fear. Yet now he's the person who is putting the fear in anybody who has...
You haven't explained how it's hypocritical. Except for saying like, oh, he defended free speech then. And copyright, and now he's against it. Yeah. Just because you defend copyright doesn't mean you can never make a copyright takedown notice.
Has an opinion about him. So just like we learned from the Haas versus Klein lawsuit of 2016.
Also, I meant to go over this earlier. I still do have it up. Okay. If we look through this, are we going to see any video content? Yep, it's a video there. It's not of Ethan's content, to be fair. Let's go by top. Jesus Christ, this is a crazy fucking active subreddit. A whole 2-minute segment of the... If he was going to take down any, surely.
Stand up. So many more.
Hassan generously gives away clothes to unhoused people.
We got shirts.
Okay. Don't know how that's got anything to do with H3.
So yeah, that's
Hassan content, loaner box content. Is this just the Hassan subreddit?
About this conflict overall, and I'm not coming.
I guess he's a staff member. Oh, that's from the subreddit. That's from the podcast. Yeah. So I think I'd heard this been said earlier, right? He's not fucking going for everyone, right? In every video. Seems to be some discretion. Listen. Ethan Klein and the Israeli military have one thing in common, okay? Discretion. He is not indiscriminate. The copyright notices, they have warnings, okay? Ethan's been sending out leaflets. He's been telling the snarkers to evacuate their apartment buildings, okay? Before he throws down those DMcA bombs, all right? He's trying to minimize civilian casualties. Trying to minimize fair use casualties, okay?
Ethan Klein, you can't litigate public opinion. Anyway, that is about it from me. Thank you guys so much.
Thank God. Jesus.